What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Of course, we have another Tiffany Henry video, and I've already told you guys, if she would stop messing up, I will leave her alone. But she won't. So you know me, I'm Dusty. I'm going to continue to grift and get my little few coins talking about her weaving and sailing behind. This story is going to be even more crazy, guys. Remember when Tiffany Henry built this skating rink without the approval of the trustee board? She basically took this land, took this budget, and spent $1.3 million on a skating rink. This is a poor city, a poor village, okay, on average, where people make less than $25,000 a year. So let's install a skating rink that brings in no revenue for the community, and then named it after her daughter, Just Ice. Her daughter's name is Justice. Then there was the issue with Tiffany Henry in the $10 houses that she's been selling. So what she does is there is a criminal element to her real estate holding company, Aisha Properties or Aisha Real Estate, and they pretty much get these houses, kind of confiscate them from the city, and then they deed the properties to each other for just $10. This is why she tried to buy some houses from Cook counties with Dalton's money, and this was the outcome.
Is a motion to approve the purchase of 5 residential properties, 1 commercial property from the Cook County Land Bank. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a motion and second? Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. And you think we about to let you buy properties?
I could care less. You pick your vote, choose what you want. This is, again.
The village of Dalton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties.
Okay, then why y'all motion and second it then? Don't motion and second that.
We had a discussion because we want the people to know why we're not. Because you would get up here and lie and be like, they don't want to buy the properties and they don't want to spend no money. So we motion and second, like we can do in Robert's Rules Order, and discussion. The discussion is, we don't trust you to buy penny candy, and no, we're not buying no property because the village of Dalton is not in the business of property. Y'all done already stole about 60 houses, so ain't nobody gonna deal with you buying no property. So that's the end of my discussion.
So this is why Kiana Belcher was like, nope, we're not about to buy any houses. You guys have already stole so many houses, okay? Now, let's also talk about this. Now, in the United States government, in most cities, you need to actually bid on contracts, okay? Basically to compare to other people that are offering services, and you're supposed to go with usually the cheapest one or the bid that gives you the most value. Tiffany Henry has been paying a construction company or a contracting company without that due process. And what has that done?
Our Weekend Watch shines a spotlight on government activity, and this morning we're taking a closer look at the subpoena and ongoing investigation into Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henry. The Illinois Answers Project found that federal investigators are now seeking records from a suburban contractor after the village of Dalton paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars in no bid, no contract work in 2022. And here to talk more about this is Illinois Answers investigative reporter Casey Toner. Good morning, Casey. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Okay, so Casey, tell us a little bit about this subpoena and what you guys have found so far.
Well, we found that in 2022, at the urging of Mayor Tiffany Henry, the village of Dalton paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in no bid, no contract work to a West suburban contractor named Oak Construction. And this is notable because Oak Construction is linked to multiple public corruption cases. And furthermore, Oak Construction is named in the subpoena in the ongoing federal investigation of Tiffany Henry.
Oak Construction. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about what you have learned about this entity.
Okay, Oak Construction is based out of Summit, Illinois, and right now the president of the organization had pleaded guilty to bribing a Cook County assessor's official in exchange for tax breaks. And his late father was also implicated in a bribery case involving former alderman Carrie Austin. And now, they're, at the center of this other investigation in the village of Dalton.
So in terms of the money that was spent, have you seen that? Was there work done by this company?
Now, I've seen photos of this work. I've seen testimonies from people involved in this work, saying that they liked what happened. But the issue is, without a contract, you don't know what the bill of goods is that you're buying. And furthermore, without bids, you can't compare that cost against what other people might have received for the same work.
Right. What type of work was this contractor supposed to do?
This was work for senior homeowners to replace their roofs and their windows. And we showed, after the Dalton Village Board didn't want to pay for this work because they never authorized it, the same contractor threatened to put liens on the homes of these senior homeowners.
Really? Okay. Wow. All right. So where do things stand right now in terms of the investigation into Mayor Henyard?
Our story for Illinois Answers noted that this investigation is intensifying. Federal subpoenas have been issued to the Village of Dalton. They've been issued to Thornton Township. And furthermore, a member of Tiffany Henyard's inner circle, Keith Freeman, who's the village manager of Dalton and a paid senior advisor at the township, was indicted earlier this year for allegedly committing bankruptcy fraud. And this is a person who is tied very closely to the government and political affairs of Tiffany Henyard.
So, I mean, obviously a lot going on here, and I feel like every week we're learning more information, new information about, the situation in Thornton Township and in Dalton. So when you think about specifically this subpoena and the federal investigation, what happens next at this point?
A process like this can take a long time. It can take months, it can take years, but right now it looks like they're in the fact gathering stage. They're gathering information on the things that occurred under the watch of Tiffany Henyard. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've started doing interviews soon and taking those next steps and putting those pieces together.
Okay, Casey Toner, thank you so much for coming in and talking about it. Obviously, we'll have you back as this continues. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time. And you can read more about the federal investigation into Tiffany Henyard at IllinoisAnswers.org.
Let me just say this. We all know how corrupt she is. That's true. The issue is this. For Oak Construction, which, the owner is corrupt, his dead father is corrupt, they've pleaded guilty to these corruption charges. These are facts. Let's leave Tiffany Henyard aside and let's talk about the real issue, which is Black America. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna be real. Many of us will overlook, I'm not saying it's you personally, but we can overlook this for the fact that we like the person. And the people in Dalton, and she has a lot of supporters, they're gonna overlook the fact that she's stealing their money because she does events. She steals the fire department's money because she does events. You're not looking at the fact that when she does this, she's stealing from the future of your kids. Imagine people have bought homes in Dalton. I've talked to at least one person, and the person's told me, you know what, I bought this home in Dalton, and now I don't know what the future holds for my children. Are we gonna have streetlights? Are we gonna have police cars? Nobody wants to come into the city and do business with us because we don't have the money and we don't pay. We owe all of these contractors and vendors. What about my kids? Okay, this is a lot of people that have said this. People have been in Dalton for many years. Imagine you have moved from greater Chicago, you retired in Dalton. Now you're worried about this. You're worried about, can you have services going on in the community? Remember the guy, he said, listen, we don't even have money for services anymore. You want your trees cut? We don't have the money. Nobody will come and help us. So you're supporting somebody that's stealing from your kids. Again, guys, I tell you, I live in Africa. I at first in America, I didn't really know so much about governmental corruption because it happens everywhere, right? But if you ever want to talk about stealing from the youth, oh, I've seen it. Look at the roads in many African countries. Look at the educational system. Look at the people who don't want to work there. If you can't get firefighters, you can't fight fires because you're not going to get paid, because you're not paying their health insurance. You're not paying their pension. No one wants to work in Dalton. No one wants to do any business in Dalton. Then the private sector, no one wants to invest. All of these things are accumulation of people who are silly, who follow this person. We already know that she's insane, but the more insane is the people who follow this. And people continue to show how silly they are. I feel for you. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all you do. Sir the bell. We're out.